What if I told you the most powerful medicine for your heart isn't sitting on a pharmacy shelf? It's actually right under your feet. Sounds too simple to be true, doesn't it? Today, we're diving into what a regular walk actually does to your heart. Based on hard data and insights from top cardiologists, and trust me, you're going to look at your daily stroll in a whole new way. We aren't just going to cover why it works, but also how to turn every step into a real investment in your longevity. By the way, how many steps have you taken today? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see how everyone compares. Let's start with a sobering fact. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death globally. Most people assume that protecting your heart requires heroic efforts, running marathons, crushing it in the gym, or sticking to incredibly strict diets. But cardiologists are increasingly speaking up about an underrated hero in the world of health: walking. It's the most accessible, natural, and, as research shows, one of the most effective ways to maintain your engine. We usually take walking for granted as just a way to get from A to B. But in reality, it's a powerful physiological process that triggers a cascade of positive changes throughout your entire body. Let's break those down one by one. First things first, your heart is a muscle. Just like your biceps, it needs regular exercise to stay strong, and walking, especially at a brisk pace, is the perfect workout. When you pick up the pace, your heart beats faster to deliver oxygen-rich blood to your legs. Doing this consistently strengthens the heart muscle, making it more resilient and efficient. Think of it like a pump. A well-trained heart can move the same amount of blood with fewer beats. This lowers your resting heart rate, which is one of the clearest signs of a healthy cardiovascular system. Essentially, every step you take is a small rep for the most important muscle in your body. Let's talk about blood pressure. Often called the silent killer, hypertension puts a massive strain on your heart and your arteries. But here's the good news. Regular walking is one of the most effective, drug-free ways to manage it. How does it work? When you walk, your blood vessels naturally dilate to handle the increased blood flow. Over time, this consistent activity makes your vessels more elastic and flexible. This reduces the overall resistance in your circulatory system, allowing your blood pressure to drop naturally. Research shows that just 30 minutes of brisk walking a day can lower your systolic pressure by 4 to 9 points. That's an impact comparable to some prescription medications. Walking also triggers the release of nitric oxide, a natural compound that helps relax your blood vessels and keeps them supple. Now let's talk about cholesterol. You've likely heard of the good and the bad kind. The bad type, known as LDL, tends to build up on the walls of your arteries, forming plaques. This narrows the blood flow and can ultimately lead to a heart attack or stroke. On the other hand, good cholesterol, HDL, acts like a cleanup crew. It picks up excess bad cholesterol from your bloodstream and hauls it back to the liver to be processed and removed. This is where exercise comes in. Regular aerobic activity, like brisk walking, is proven to boost your levels of that good cholesterol. At the same time, it helps lower bad cholesterol and triglycerides, another type of blood fat that's tough on your heart. So, you aren't just working out your muscles, you're literally helping your body scrub its arteries clean from the inside out. Improving your circulation is another fantastic benefit of walking, and it's particularly effective for your veins. When you sit or stand still for too long, gravity causes blood to pool in your legs, often leading to swelling, heaviness, and even varicose veins. But the moment you start walking, your calf muscles kick in, acting like a powerful pump. With every step, these muscles contract and squeeze the veins, literally pushing blood back up toward your heart. This mechanism is known as the calf muscle pump. Keeping this pump active doesn't just prevent leg discomfort. It also takes a huge load off your heart. It no longer has to work overtime to pull blood from your lower body. As a result, circulation improves throughout your entire system, delivering fresh blood to every part of you, from your brain all the way down to your fingertips. You can't talk about heart health without addressing weight. Carrying extra pounds, especially around the midsection, is a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease. It puts constant strain on your heart, raises your blood pressure, and is often linked to high cholesterol and blood sugar levels. That's where walking comes in. It's a fantastic tool for managing and losing weight. While it might not burn as many calories per minute as an intense run, it has one huge advantage. It's accessible and low impact. You can walk for long periods and do it consistently without overtaxing your joints. A 40-minute brisk walk can burn anywhere from 150 to 300 calories, depending on your pace and weight. When you make this a daily habit, those calories add up. Combined with a balanced diet, this leads to steady, healthy weight loss. And remember, every pound you lose is a direct relief for your heart. Next, let's talk about blood sugar. High glucose levels and type 2 diabetes take a heavy toll on your blood vessels, making them brittle and more susceptible to atherosclerosis. Walking is one of the most effective ways to prevent and manage diabetes. When you walk, your muscles actively use blood sugar for fuel. What's remarkable is that this process happens even without the help of insulin, allowing your blood sugar levels to drop naturally. Regular walking also improves insulin sensitivity, meaning your body doesn't have to work as hard to maintain healthy levels. This reduces the strain on your pancreas and is a key factor in preventing type 2 diabetes. Short walks, just 10 or 15 minutes right after a meal, are particularly effective as they help your body efficiently process the carbohydrates you've just consumed. Modern life is often incredibly stressful, and chronic stress, in particular, takes a heavy toll on your heart. When we're stressed, our bodies release hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These trigger a spike in heart rate and blood pressure, which can eventually lead to inflammation in your arteries. Thankfully, walking acts as a powerful, natural antidepressant. The rhythmic, steady movement of a brisk walk helps lower the cortisol levels in your blood. In its place, the brain begins to release endorphins, the feel-good hormones that naturally lift your mood and promote a sense of calm. Stepping outside for a walk, especially in a park or near trees, allows your mind to reset and drift away from anxious thoughts. It's essentially meditation in motion, a simple, effective way to break the cycle of stress and protect your cardiovascular health. We've touched on vascular elasticity, but it's worth taking a closer look. A healthy blood vessel is far more than just a pipe for your blood. Its walls are complex, dynamic structures that expand and contract to adapt to your body's needs. Over time, factors like smoking or high blood pressure can cause these walls to become stiff and brittle, much like an old weathered plastic pipe. This condition is known as arteriosclerosis. Regular walking essentially gives your vessels a daily workout. They expand during activity and contract at rest, and this constant vascular gymnastics keeps them toned and flexible. As we mentioned earlier, walking triggers the release of nitric oxide, which is vital for the health of the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels. A healthy endothelium creates a smooth surface that prevents platelets and cholesterol from sticking and forming plaques. In essence, every step you take helps keep your arteries young. There's a fascinating indicator of heart health called heart rate variability, or HRV. Simply put, it's your heart's ability to vary the timing between each beat. It might seem counterintuitive, but a healthy heart shouldn't tick like a metronome. Those tiny fluctuations in rhythm actually show that your nervous system is doing a great job of adapting to both physical and emotional stress. On the other hand, a low HRV is often linked to a higher risk of heart disease and other serious complications. The good news is that regular aerobic exercise, even something as simple as walking, significantly improves this metric. It essentially makes your heart more flexible and resilient. Walking helps balance your fight-or-flight response with your body's ability to rest and recover, and that balance is exactly what keeps your heart rhythm healthy. Now let's debunk a very common myth, the 10,000 steps rule. Where did that number even come from? Believe it or not, it wasn't a scientific recommendation. It was actually a marketing gimmick created in 1960s Japan to sell pedometers. It's a nice round number, but it lacks a solid scientific foundation. Recent research from Harvard Medical School shows that a significant drop in mortality risk happens at just 4,400 steps a day. The health benefits continue to climb until you hit about 7,500 steps, at which point they start to plateau. This doesn't mean 10,000 steps is bad. It's actually great. But for many people, especially seniors or those just starting out, that goal can feel out of reach and even discouraging. Cardiologists say the key is simply to start. Even 2,000 or 3,000 steps is much better than zero. Don't get hung up on a perfect number. Just focus on being consistent. One crucial point cardiologists always emphasize is your walking pace. A leisurely stroll through the park is wonderful for your mind, but to give your heart a real workout, you need to step it up. We're talking about what's known as brisk walking. So, what does that actually look like? It's a pace where your heart rate and breathing increase and you might break a light sweat, but you can still hold a conversation without gasping for air. This is what experts call the talk test. If you can easily sing a song, you're going too slow. If you can't get more than a couple of words out at a time, you're pushing yourself too hard. For most people, the target speed is between 5 and 6.5 kilometers per hour. This is the sweet spot that triggers those key health benefits, strengthening the heart muscle, lowering blood pressure, and burning fat. Remember, it's not just about the distance you cover, it's about the pace you keep. Next up is consistency. When it comes to heart health, what's more effective? One grueling 3-hour hike on a Sunday, or 30 to 40 minutes of walking every day? The answer is clear. It's the daily routine. Our bodies thrive on regularity and don't handle sudden spikes from total inactivity to extreme exertion very well. Moderate daily activity keeps your blood vessels toned, prevents sugar and cholesterol from building up, and helps keep your nervous system in balance. The heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it responds best to regular training, even if those sessions aren't particularly long. The World Health Organization recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week. That works out to 30 minutes, 5 days a week. And if that sounds like too much at once, you can break it down into smaller bursts, like 3 10-minute walks throughout the day. The impact on your heart will be just as powerful. The key is to make it a non-negotiable habit, just like brushing your teeth. Not many people realize it, But a simple walk is one of the best ways to fight systemic inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is a silent threat to our blood vessels. It doesn't cause pain or a fever, so it often goes unnoticed, but it slowly damages the lining of your arteries, paving the way for plaque buildup. This hidden process is a major factor in many modern health issues, ranging from heart disease to certain types of cancer. Regular physical activity, and yes, that includes walking, acts as a powerful anti-inflammatory. It helps lower key inflammatory markers in the blood, such as C-reactive protein. While scientists are still uncovering exactly how this works, it's believed that walking helps by reducing fat tissue, which itself produces inflammatory compounds, and by boosting your immune system. So when you go for a walk, you're doing more than just moving your legs. You're literally putting out the internal fires within your body. Let's talk about oxygen. Your body's ability to take in and process oxygen during exercise is measured by your VO2 max. It's one of the most important markers of your overall endurance and cardiovascular health. Essentially, the higher your VO2 max, the better. For a long time, it was believed that the only way to improve this number was through high-intensity training, like interval running. However, recent studies show that regular brisk walking can also significantly boost your VO2 max, especially for those who are just starting to get active. When you exercise consistently, your body adapts. You develop more mitochondria, the power plants of your cells, and the capillary network in your muscles becomes more efficient. As a result, your body learns to use oxygen more effectively. This reduces the strain on your heart and lungs, not just during physical activity, but even when you're at rest. We often describe the heart as a pump, but to be more precise, the real powerhouse is the left ventricle. This is the chamber that drives oxygen-rich blood into the aorta, sending it throughout your entire body. Regular cardio, like brisk walking, triggers positive changes in the structure of the left ventricle. Instead of simply thickening, it actually expands in volume. This is a healthy adaptation known as eccentric hypertrophy, or athlete's heart. As a result, your heart can pump a larger volume of blood with every single beat. This increase in stroke volume allows the heart to work much more efficiently. It doesn't need to beat as often to supply your body with everything it needs. Ultimately, this makes your heart more powerful and resilient, ensuring it's ready to handle whatever challenges come your way. One of the most effective tips recommended by cardiologists and endocrinologists is remarkably simple. Take a short walk after you eat. This is especially important after a heavy, carb-rich meal. As you might know, our blood sugar levels naturally spike after eating. If you just head straight for the couch, your pancreas has to work overtime, pumping out insulin to move all that sugar into your cells. However, a quick 15 to 20-minute walk at a moderate pace is a total game changer. Your active leg muscles start soaking up glucose from your bloodstream, using it as immediate fuel. This helps flatten your blood sugar curve, reduces the demand for insulin, and prevents excess energy from being stored as fat. This simple habit does more than just help with weight control. It's a powerful way to prevent insulin resistance and protect your heart and cardiovascular health for years to come. Want to get more out of your daily walk? Head for the hills. Walking uphill, or even taking the stairs, is nature's version of interval training. As soon as you start to climb, your heart rate spikes, challenging your cardiovascular system in the best way possible. It's the perfect cycle. You push your heart for a short burst, then let it recover as the ground levels out. This approach is much more effective for building stamina than just sticking to flat ground. Plus, you'll fire up your hamstrings and glutes, which helps burn more calories. If you don't have any hills nearby, simply use the incline setting on a treadmill or add a few flights of stairs to your route. Even a slight incline can turn a simple stroll into a serious cardio workout. We shouldn't overlook the psychological side of health. The connection between the mind and the heart is incredibly powerful. Conditions like depression, anxiety, and chronic stress are all proven risk factors for heart disease. As we've mentioned, walking acts as a natural antidepressant. It triggers the release of endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine, the feel-good chemicals responsible for our mood and motivation. A simple walk helps clear your head and put your thoughts in order. In fact, MRI studies show that walking, especially in nature, reduces activity in the parts of the brain linked to negative, repetitive thinking. By improving your mental well-being, you are indirectly, but very effectively, protecting your heart. A calm and optimistic person is far less likely to struggle with hypertension or suffer a heart attack. Let's look at the big picture. Those small daily improvements that walking brings to your body may seem subtle, but over time, they create a powerful cumulative effect. Decades of large-scale research have confirmed the facts. People who maintain a brisk walking habit have a significantly lower risk of heart disease, heart attacks, and strokes. We're talking about a risk reduction of 30, 40, or even 50% compared to those with a sedentary lifestyle. Walking does more than just add years to your life. It adds life to your years. It's an investment in your future self, helping you stay independent, energetic, and free from chronic disease. Every step you take today is a contribution to a healthier tomorrow. And finally, here's the most important piece of advice for those just starting out. Don't feel pressured to break any records right away. The greatest enemy of a new healthy habit is perfectionism. If you've been inactive for years, don't try to walk 6 miles tomorrow. Start small. A comfortable 15-minute walk 3 times a week is a fantastic beginning. What matters most is consistency. As you get stronger, you can gradually increase your time and eventually pick up the pace. Make sure you have comfortable shoes and clothing to make the experience better. The goal is to make your walk an enjoyable part of your day. Listen to music or an audiobook. Walk with a friend or your dog, and choose routes that you actually find beautiful. This isn't about punishing yourself. It's about weaving movement into your life in a way that brings you joy. Remember, the journey to a healthy heart isn't a sprint. It's a marathon built one small, steady step at a time. So what's the big takeaway for today? Walking is so much more than just a way to get from point A to point B. It is a powerful, science-backed tool for your heart health. Think of it as a free cardio workout that strengthens your heart muscle, keeps your blood vessels flexible, lowers your blood pressure, and helps manage cholesterol, blood sugar, and even stress. The real secret, and any cardiologist will tell you this, isn't about extreme intensity. It's about consistency. It's not about running a marathon once a year. A 30 to 40-minute brisk walk most days of the week is the true fountain of youth for your heart. Thanks for watching until the end. If you found this helpful, please give the video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And make sure to subscribe so you never miss our latest tips on staying healthy and energized. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these facts surprised you the most? And what motivates you to get out there and walk every day? Share your thoughts in the comments below Let's build the healthiest and most active community on YouTube together.